I could see why it's taking them so long to make that decision, and still they have to weigh all the pros and cons that are involved in this situation.
Yeah, possibly yes, possibly yes. But again, let's ask ourselves the question: why is it so necessary now to impose a no-fly zone there? Is it true that the Libyan government or Gaddafi supporters are using fighter bombers to bomb those who are against him? We haven't seen any evidence of that. I was watching, I think, a BBC TV program about a week ago, and there was a Russian statement there saying that denying or refuting the accusations against the Libyan plane, which is said to have bombed some demonstrators there. The Russians said they didn't see any aircraft, taking off in that area, because of course they have satellites above.
Right.
Yeah. So I think this is
propaganda, so?
It could be. Who knows? It could be. We are here in Boston, but somebody has to be on the ground to verify these things. It's not an easy thing to just jump into.
I guess the rest of the world has a difficult task ahead of them.
Indeed, 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 they do. And we do have a difficult task ahead of us, because, you never know where these things, end up. Yesterday, it was, the day before yesterday, it was Tunisia. And yesterday, it was in Egypt. Today, it's happening in Libya. They're fighting over there. Tomorrow, it may be somewhere else. Now, my word is that this kind of uprising, should not, continue and take the world, at ransom.
But shouldn't the other countries that have had leaders that have been there for a while take note and say, look, start implementing some resolution in terms of what is going on in their country, making some changes, at least make a good faith effort to at least prevent or preempt the protest.
Okay, I understand. You see, here again, the Western world or the international community could make a change, or could help for the better, of course, because the international community has a lot of influences in almost all these developing countries. The influence happens to be diplomatically and also economically. They could urge or influence, leaders or political leaders who have stayed in office for too long, to relinquish power or step aside, and leave the reins of power to others. Because, as I said in a previous discussion there, that one of the reasons of the present, uprising in Libya, Tunisia, and Egypt is that the leaders there have overstayed in office. I mean, they have overstayed their welcome. They have been there for too long. Gaddafi has been there for 40 years. Hosni Mubarak almost 30 years. And Ben Ali was there for almost 23 years. That's a very long time.
Côte d'Ivoire, they've apparently, again, the same thing is going on there. About a week ago, they killed some women who were on the street protesting. My question goes back again to African Union. I know they've been making an effort to negotiate, but could African Union do more in terms of what is Côte d'Ivoire in particular?
Well, I believe that the African Union is trying its best to mediate there, because I've seen delegations from the Western Africa, the ECOWAS member countries, I've seen delegations of the dignitaries from political dignitaries from South Africa, from East Africa, for example, from Kenya, and Tanzania, the United Republic of Tanzania. The President of Tanzania has been there. And so many other dignitaries, have been flocking to Ivory Coast to try to mediate. I believe that there should be a continuation of these efforts, until, and I believe a final solution an amicable solution will be found. But I'm opposed to any sort of military intervention because, look, we are concerned about the 6 women, unfortunate women, who lost their lives in demonstration. Now just try to imagine if there was a military force and I was sent in there to fight against the regime of Gabo.
Yes.
You don't know. Nobody knows what the response, will be. That regime may be fighting for 6 months, maybe a year, and that could lead to a civil war. And mind you, there was a civil war before there, which claimed the lives of so many people. So, military option, in my opinion, is no option. We have to continue with diplomatic efforts.
Should Africa as a whole encourage power sharing?
I think it's, first of all, I like your question. It's a very good question. And I myself come from a country where we have a power sharing. Actually, ours is a GNU, a Government of National Unity, which is embedded in the Constitution of Zanzibar. The reason why we decided to go to a GNU is because we wanted to avoid political calamities there. Every time we went into a general election, we had conflict. We had fighting between the winning side and the losing side. The losers never accepted, the results. The reason being, the results were very tight, very tight, 53, 54 against 46, 47. So in the end, we decided, to call for a referendum, which we did call. And the majority of people of Zanzibar decided, it's actually up to 66.4% of those who voted for the referendum decided, to go to a Government of National Unity, which we do have now. So, to answer your question, I'll say yes, I think governments, inclusive governments or governments of national unities, I think that's the way forward now. Look at what is happening in so many countries, even in Europe, Britain, the United Kingdom has one now. Holland, continental Europe, I think, Germany, so many other countries like the Scandinavian countries, most of them have coalition governments there. And I think that's the best way forward, to avoid political calamities and political problems.
Well, sir, I think we should reserve that for further discussion next time because I think it's a very in-depth subject if we are to encourage people that are running for election to continue with the hope that at the end there will be a coalition government. So, but anyways, another time we can continue that stuff. But meanwhile, thank you very much, Your Excellency, for being on Africa Express. We really do appreciate your taking up time to speak with us. Thank you. You have been watching Africa Express. Please do continue to watch us same time at the same place. Thank you.